Up here in the top position for the last time tonight, give it up for Kaitsu Gaming's. He is Time. And he sure as heck isn't irrelevant right now, as he goes up against this man down here representing Dragons, Phoenix, and gamers all over the world. Give it up for world champion Rogue. And this is the one that you have to hope is going to be the best series of the night. Byun versus Time, I can live with that one as a TVT. It did not live up to my expectations because the last King of Battles, those two played an epic series. So if you want to check out those replays, you can always check them out on our YouTube page, youtube.com/alphaxsc2. And all the past King of Battle replays are on that channel. It just gives you something to look forward to because, I mean, Rogue, like I said, he is a world champion, and he is someone who has won multiple Premier level events, not just the World Championship of 2017. He's got a couple GSL under his belt. He's made it through an IEM, I believe it was Shanghai, where he just won a ton of money, I swear. And then he also took a Katowice. I believe he won the one in... it wasn't 2020 because that was Rainer. I think it was 2019. I have to fact check myself because I'm getting all my tournaments advised. But coming into this one, he's going to have a pretty tough opponent here, as Time is going to get that Reaper out and just start a little bit of scouting information just to make sure nothing too crazy is coming his way. Looks like Rogue is also going for the more expensive 6 lings instead of 4, which does mean he hopes to keep all 6 of them alive. So basically, like, if you only make 4 lings, you're expecting to lose one of them, but if you make 6, then you don't want to lose any of them. Rogue just trying to bait the Reaper in for a snack. While that Creep Cobra tries to go down, but now he can safely do so as her buddy from the book club just comes in to lay down to throw the book at that Reaper. As we see the Hellions starting up the starport as well. I don't see a tech lab being brought over, so it's looking like there's not going to be any Banshees or Raven play. Instead, he's more than likely going to get a Viking out, and from there, I want to say he's going to start drop play, but hey, it's actually going to switch it up a little bit. It's going to go straight into Liberator. One thing to note about some of these maps, I don't know exactly which ones, but the latter editions are actually OP for Liberators, because there are some spots where once you get Liberator range, you can't actually hit them, but they can hit everything you have. But yeah, Rogue did win the last series these two played in literally just a day. So this is a rematch from the round of 4, or round 4. I totally forgot about that. Didn't we? What? Didn't we literally cast that series? I don't know, but Time is kind of just powering up right now. He's getting up to his 3rd base at a more reasonable time than last time, as he prepares himself for his first big push. It used to be that you would dive in with the Hellions and go for as many drone kills as possible. But nowadays, it really matches up for the 1-1 push that we see a lot of Terran players do. Basically, Stim finishes up, your 1-1 upgrades finish, and by the time you finish those, you already have an armory out, so with your first attack, you just morph them into Hellbats, and they soak up so much Baneling damage. And speaking of the upgrades, it looks like Time will be a little bit ahead in that regard, as his engineering base finished before the Evo chambers. Time Rogue. Yes, I'm sure there is a game named Time Rogue. It's like some indie title that nobody has ever played, but I'll take it as yeah, here we go. The first big push, getting ready to move across the map. Looks like he's a little bit gas starved at the moment though, so he's only going for +1 attack. In fact, he's gonna hit before he even has the 1-1. Gonna get a very quick cancel on that third base. No scans. Just gonna go straight for the army with the Hellions in front to buffer. There are no Banelings because he was indeed going for Roaches instead. A nice little supply block right there for just a couple of seconds. As he establishes his third base, and the Marines now kind of just hanging around, looking to clear up what they can. As the Queens try and chase them away. Rogue gonna go for a little bit of a counterattack here, hitting multiple locations, going straight for the natural and the third base. He's gonna get quite a few SCVs, but Time says he does not care about them. Instead, he's gonna keep the attack going, but the Ravager force is pushing him far, far back. So having to lift up this base is a pretty big deal for him. The Biles not gonna hit, but actually, look at this Time taking a pretty good engagement before having to lift up to get out of there. Now this opens him up to a big possibility of a death, as his entire army is loaded into these medevacs, so he has almost nothing at home to defend. The siege tanks are on their way, but they are a ways off, and his upgrades, oh my goodness, he's only just now getting his +1 armor. Trying to bait the army away while he powers up back at home, and so far it's working for him, as a Rogue doesn't want to overextend and get pincered in the rear by this force. So now at this point, Rogue is completely maxed out. He is going to push through with as many Roaches as you could possibly imagine, as the main force of Time is just doing what he can to stifle the reinforcements, but they are not really having a good time of it. They don't have those +2 upgrades just yet. And losing 7 more workers. Scan's gonna go down, revealing the 4th base, seeing that there's no 5th, maybe thinking he has a shot of holding on here, and with the siege tanks, I think that's a real possibility. But Rogue is just going to rotate around this location, looking for that opening where the siege tanks can't cover. While he's also going up to Hive. And here we go. The concave is pretty big, but he is taking a lot of damage from these siege tanks. The bio in the front, buffering really well, but he will take a bile. And Rogue, his supply plummets, but so does Time's. Now 27 more Roaches on the production tab. I don't think Time's gonna be real happy with himself. He definitely doesn't want to be stuck defending at this stage. He wants to be over there killing creep, destroying hatcheries. What's the point of linking the bracket if we can't tell which player is which? Tell you what, bud. I'll do something for you. So now Rogue is working his way around, but remember, as the upgrades start to kick in even more for the Terran player, these roaches are going to lose a lot of utility. So you can kind of see him already trying to transition into the lurkers, into the lings. He's just trying to, and now he just wants to kind of get equal trades with these roaches. Unfortunate spot for a lurker. Wow, the caster has the voice of a documentary director. Oh, thank you. Rogue has a little attack wave coming on in the siege tanks, though. They're going to be making short work of most of it. The bio enough to clean this up. But Rogue is going to have a little trouble defending this position. He doesn't have any Ravagers left, I don't believe. And so he's just going to have to continuously retreat. And at the same time, I don't think he actually has... I don't think he has really too much anti-air. I see a couple of Hydralisks, but they're not going to be able to get close enough. You're right, this is National Geographic, because this is definitely a zoo at this point. Time trying to fight into a choke point. That is never where you want to be versus a bunch of lurkers. Time finally taking the armor supply lead, 127 to 110. These Liberators in the sky, he's just not feeling threatened at all. Continuously pushing on forward. And here we go. Some of the Liberators actually not attacking on the ground. The bio getting pincered from behind by those roaches. That should be enough to kind of force this away, as there's not enough to deal with the lurkers. At the same time, Time is not going to care. He is still going for it. Even though he is now down about 5 army supply and 20 supply total, he doesn't want to let this position go. His opponent is only on 4 bases right now, as he is taking his own 4th. So now that he is equal on bases, he's got to be feeling like he just wants to scan around. Is going to come straight for the 3rd base. There are no spore crawlers in position there yet. That's just going to deny a little bit of mining. Just be super annoying, and that's all Time has to do right now, is just be annoying. Killing 4 workers is certainly a nuisance, because it looks like Rogue is going to have to remake those, as he's only down to 59 workers. So this little strike force is finding another avenue of attack, but the lurkers are in position this time. So there will be no killing this base. Instead, just going to settle for the creep so that he can have another avenue attack where he doesn't have to be seen. He's a stealthy Time. Because just like all Time, he does sneak up on you. Cherish him while he's here. Those lurkers, I gotta say, they're a little bit useless. No, not really doing too much for anything. Liberators, though, gonna be doing work on these Hydralisks. Getting rid of those, just make it a little bit easier. But now the lurkers come in, and now they are useful. The Nidus Worm doesn't get to go down. The space is still up, and Time is attacking straight in here. There's not really that many lurkers left, so he should be able to crush through this base, and that is one of the last mining bases of Rogue right now. Look at Time. He's a little bit impatient, so he's even going to drop it, or drop that base, even though he can't do it on location, because he does need some income, and he does need it now. Bulletings popping out of the Nidus Worm. Clips are still disabled. Could have rewatched that battle, but no. Okay, that explains why there's not anything going on. I don't know who has control of that. But production. Let my people clip. Time on 5 bases. Rogue trying to reestablish his own 4th. Interesting spot for the Nidus Worm, just trying to get around this Terran army. It's really hard to say who's like confidently ahead right now, because Rogue is still getting little bits of damage here and there, which is slowing down any sort of attack from Time. And so he's given the opportunity to repower back up. Scan gonna go down here, get rid of these lurkers, get rid of them now as they try and focus fire. That is a very expensive for Rogue, as is this for Time. Oh my god. So now, yeah, 18 Marines, 21 Marauders to 13 Lurkers on the field. That's pretty much all Rogue has. Both players are really broke, so everything they lose at this point is going to be very, very expensive for them. Like that Planetary Fortress. These Lurkers didn't get the memo that they need to be underground to fire. But now that they got it, that's a good concave from Time to clean that up. He did lose quite a bit of his army there, but oh, he missed one. Just kind of throwing away most of his lurkers here. I think I'm most scared for Rogue. Although, that being said, Time is only on 22 workers, and I don't think he really has a lot of Planetary Fortress left to his name. And, yeah, it looks like this is, well, the last big attack for a Time. He is not mining off most of his bases. That one lurker is being a complete nuisance to him. And Rogue is just going to dive right on top of this. A full 360 surround, no scoping at all. And it looks like Time just has barely enough. He's going to be able to break his way through, but there's more lurkers in the backfield. And as that goes down, Rogue, I mean, he should be able to clean this up with the addition of these Lings, but these Marauders in the front just really not going down. And he's actually going to be able to break through. The transfuses going on down, trying to save her buddy. At the end of the day, he is able to break through, getting rid of the Nidus Worm. In fact, not even caring about it. He's just going to snipe these bases and be done with it. So now time does get out of there, but the supplies are, funnily enough, even, except when we're talking about the army supply, as time is up double that. If Rogue loses this base, like, I think that's pretty much it. The one lurker, though, helping out in the backfield, the Marines, they have a lot of DPS, but it's just not enough. They have to wait for the reinforcements, and the reinforcements are arriving. They're still taking quite a bit of damage to the lurker ball. And there you have it. Now you can kind of see Rogue, he's either looking for a risk to take, or he is just thinking that time is going to be taking a risk, and it looks like it's going to be the former, or the latter rather, as he scouts around. He wants to make sure that there is no proxy out on this map for him. CV as well. Just gonna go get a scout, make sure that it was indeed a hatch first, which it was, so no worries there. He's also just gonna add on the Reaper for a little bit of extra oomph to this first couple of moments in this game, just to be a little bit of a nuisance. Mules need a buff. Yeah, you know what? They need to just be permanent. Like, once you drop a mule, it's done. Congratulations, you have a mule for life. Anyway, Rogue is going to just take his third base here. Time just going to go straight for the natural. Not going to even scout over there. But so far, Rogue doing a really good job of kind of keeping these lings alive. Not really losing any, as I say that. Cast a Curse in full effect. Now the Queen's out, he should be able to get that creep tumor down, as, yeah, the Reaper shouldn't really be able to make it to the high ground. But just like he did earlier in the night, Time's going to be going for a third CC before anything else. And that's a very powerful, again, it's a very powerful build. Just because it's really hard to punish. I don't know what Funara means, but apparently everybody is doing it to each other. SBC time is just going up to what looks to be Hellions, a Viking. Might go into drop play behind it. Yeah, fast stim, that's about what I was expecting. And yeah, this is really just going to allow him to get this income up. Terran on 3 bases. I don't know if you guys remember Husky from way back in the day, but 3 base was used to be known as the Terran War Machine build. Because you're just constantly producing. It's pretty much just a wartime economy. And is Ob's PC lagging? I don't see any lag. Hellions, though, gonna dance around this Queen a little bit far from home, but she does have her buddies to transfuse, so she will survive. Trying to find that creep tumor here, but the Queens are doing a very good job of kind of saving their their spawns. As we do have the Liberator going to be coming around, looking for a little bit of an angle, but this base is locked down like Fort Knox. It's gonna be really hard to kind of get in there with a Liberator. As we do see the Baneling Knights coming in, the +1 upgrades just a hair faster than our Terran player. Yeah. Hi, Ling. So trying to look for another angle. He will be able to kind of hide behind these rocks as Rogue is trying to knock down the rocks. But all of his forces are actually over there, so he's not in time to get over here into the main base. So a big unload. Unfortunately, though, time doesn't get into a good location, so he will have to jump on out. The drones, though, were lined up, so 4 of them will go down. And the Hellions actually get out almost scot-free. So time really hitting multiple locations, being very annoying. And Rogue trying to take this as an opportunity to counterattack, but only going to kill 5 workers so far. It does manage to get the siege tank at the top of the ramp, but that buys enough time for the Hellions to get home and clean that out. And so while 6 workers did go down, Rogue is only on 65 workers himself. So he's still relatively low in terms of what a super healthy Zerg economy would be. Rotating around, looking for that gold base once again. He can just siege up there, deny mining, and then come up here and get a quick kill as Rogue going for the counterattack once again. He's given up on his bases. He's just saying, you know what? If I can't have a base, nobody can. Focus fire down. The Banelings are getting closer. A good focus fire there. Getting rid of almost all of them before having to lift up and cleaning up the rest. That was incredible. Now, Rogue, he's got to buy himself time. He's going up to Infestation Pit, trying to get out lurkers. I'm telling you, time's not really giving him the opportunity to. Even here, the fight not really going in Rogue's favor, although he will have +2 Carapace very, very soon. Nice Widow Mine connection there. Getting rid of the rest of the Banes. And Rogue really just trying to take any fight he can, but he has very few Banes available to him. So these Marines are just absolutely shredding him. The Queen's trying to clean up the medevacs. You clean up the medevacs and you start to come back. But it's not like he doesn't have the gas, by the way. He is sitting on 1,000 gas, so he can morph the Banes anytime, but he's just not doing it. He's focusing on the hive. He's focusing on getting more lings. Oof. And the Banes he does make are getting swamped. Look at that, they're getting focus fire down faster than he can even build them. That is a big pool of blood, my goodness. Units lost, almost 200 more units lost. The Queen's as well starting to go down. But the transfuse is going to save them. At this point, I'd say just let Time have one of these hatcheries. With how he's been doing this, I think he's earned that much, but a little bit more focus fire, getting rid of even more of those Banes as he tries to establish his own fourth, which, I mean, he should be able to. Rogue trying to attack in, but you know. Now, Hive is out. The Lurker Den is about halfway complete. If Rogue can hold on for a little bit longer, then... Oh, wow. Okay. Then he should be okay, but the Widowmine's burrowing and just crushing his run-by there. And, yeah, Time just going to go for a little bit of a Widowmine drop while he pushes the front. The splits are pretty good. He still takes quite a bit of damage, and the Hydralisk in the backfield doing what they can to kind of close this one out. Siege tank production has restarted in earnest as well, so with the siege tanks, that's going to help out against the Hydralisks and the Lurkers once they start to pop. I gotta say, I'm really impressed that Rogue is still holding on. He did just lose 21 workers, though. Yeah, that was not as good. Not as good right there. I think he wants to save gas for Lurkers. That's probably true, but again, he's not making the Lurkers. He's trying to hold on. Like, with everything he's got right now, but 7 more workers have died. He's down to 70. I gotta say, this is just an insane game. I know I kind of sound like I'm rooting for Time here, but no, Rogue is really impressing me with how hard he's holding on. Green dying to a Widowmine. Beautiful. Lurkers are going to get a couple of juicy connections on this bio. Try and go for a concave to clean some of that up, but most of his army is coming home to defend the home front. 9 more workers to this Widowmine drop. I mean, it's not like Time hasn't really touched a base other than one-off Widowmine drops in the last couple of minutes. It has to be said. Excuse me a sec. More of the creep. The first Lurker burrow has come on in. Will deny as much mining as possible. This time we do have ghosts in the mix for Time. A couple of snipes did go down there. Looks like Rogue wants to push the issue. He wants to stop this before the Liberator count gets too big. But there's already 7 ghosts out on the field. That's insane. One thing we're missing, though, I want to see a nuke. Just sometime during these qualifiers. Doesn't matter if it's today, tomorrow or yesterday. Let's see some nuking. Nice little reposition there. As time gonna rotate around. Look for an opening, but he might actually just get sandwiched between a rock and a hard place. That is a lot of lurkers. Now those ghosts aren't really going to be able to get any snipes down, but the Ling flood is almost gone. Like, snipes are doing pretty well here, but he can't really get too many of them off because of that range upgrade. He's gonna have to get a little bit creative here. I don't think he has cloak. There we go. Those are the snipes you're looking for, but his ghosts are slowly starting to run out of energy. Hydralisks coming on in, and they will eat up some more of that energy as he snipes them too. It is just snipe central here. All these lurkers just doing a little bit of work on that gold base. I really want to know how many lurkers that was. Because he just lost so many of them. Scan's gonna go down. We do have some Vipers in the mix now, so they will be able to kind of deal with the Liberators in the sky, but that ghost count nice and healthy, while the lurker count has fallen very, very low. Now, Rogue is still ahead in terms of total supply, but he is down in terms of that army supply. And you can kind of see the production of time 10 Marines, a couple of additional Marauders. He's getting everything under the sun that he needs, and Rogue, deciding he has had enough, is just going to dive right on top of this. The Banelings getting focus fired by the siege tanks. They won't really get a... Okay, those were actually some decent connections in the front. And Rogue was able to clean up a majority of that. He's going to start to lose his lurkers once again. 15 more Hydralisks on the production tab. Time is running on fumes almost, as neither side has really been able to build up an economy. Why is he building Reapers? Oh no, that must be a mistake. 4 Reapers on the production tab for time. Those aren't really going to be too useful unless he decides to jump between the the gold base and the upper left corner. He does manage to snipe this. But we already see Rogue taking the topmost location to make up for it. Rotating around. counterattack. There's not really that much defense here. The Liberator doing what it can, but it just can't do enough. So 11 more workers on the pile of dead bodies. Pulls a couple of the ghosts in. Nice save. I think from here, Time really needs to take advantage of the fact that those lurkers aren't very mobile units. You know, I think he needs to start kind of getting some drop plays and maybe start to clear up some of the tech on the bottom side, since there's not really much else he can do with this soft contain. We are 21 minutes into this game, by the way, and I still don't know who's winning. I mean, Time is down to 38 workers, but it's still relatively equal in terms of that income. Keeps pushing in here. He might be able to kill this base as well. There's no queens to transfuse. So he will get that base. So Rogue now doesn't really have a lot of mining left to him. He's got the base he just lost. He's building it. But the rest of his bases are starting to run dry. Now Rogue, he's still trying to make these little small pronged attacks work. He will manage to get rid of a siege tank, which will allow the lurkers to reestablish himself on the top of the ramp. But you know what? I'd say if you were Time, who cares about that base? Go kill everything else. Heck, Doom drop into the main base and then send everything else there, because you are up 40 army supply right now. 50 even. Reaper's kind of hanging out as well. We're trying to split in the deceleration zone. Not going to be the best splits of his life, but you know what? I'm not going to judge, because they're better than the splits of my life. Especially the banana ones. Doing what they can, but they are starting to go down. EMP is going to blanket the Vipers just to make sure that they can't do any more. This is one of Rogue's only mining bases, so this is kind of like not necessarily his last stand, because he can still hold it. But this is just the most evenly matched TVZ I've seen in a while. Usually by this point, it's really clear someone's ahead, and then the other side is just kind of dragging it out, but not so in this one. Couple trying to hide the fact he doesn't have a scan available, maybe. But yeah, that's gonna come back to bite him in the butt. I think the problem is with how slow he's pushing in here. He's giving Rogue a lot of time to reinforce himself. Like we can already see, he's got 2 lurkers, but 3 more Hydralisks are on the way, so that's 3 more potential lurkers. But hey, this is good. Big Doom drop to the top. Won't kill the base, but it'll kill most of the drones. Dang it. Time. Was there no Korean stream? There should have been one. Into the Inu. I thought he was streaming today. Oh, there will be for other qualifiers. Okay, gotcha. Really just trying to establish himself in terms of that income. And Rogue holds a slight lead, but again, these guys, they don't really have a lot to their name. 1,700 at this stage. Not good. Not good at all. But here we go. Another big strike from Rogue. The lurkers do burrow on in. The Ghost gonna get a couple of snipes off. Not too many. I think he accidentally focus fired the Zerglings with them. He's having a little trouble clearing this up, and he is plummeted in terms of his supply. Attack coming in from the left side, so trying to pincer. As the time is forced all the way back. This might be his last huzzah, unless he can break out in very convincing fashion. I guess he's expecting a drop up there. I didn't see a medevac load up. Yeah, at this point you can kind of see time. He's picking at straws. Looking to get back into this one. I think we should be going to a game number 3 here relatively soon. I'll say though, like last race he did do pretty well with this kind of deficit, but doesn't even really matter. Here we go. Rogue are gonna dive on in. He gets right on top of the Ghosts. There is more than enough vision for them all. Scan gonna go down, and that was the GG scan. Yeah, everyone has a way. That time could have won that one. Honestly, I think after he defeated all those lurkers, I think he gave a little bit too much time to Rogue because he didn't really have a big enough army. But if he would have split around his units a little bit more and been a bit more aggressive with the drop play, that's my opinion on it, because, you know, there wasn't that much support for, for the lurkers. Hellions on the way, as well as probably another Liberator like we've been seeing in the last couple of ones, with a Viking to come out first. All in all, just really solid here. So now the Hellion's going to rotate around, join up with this Reaper to try and force a little bit of damage, some extra lings and such. this will force the queens to kind of waddle their way over. And deflect it, but there we go. There's the Liberator once again. Seeing things you people wouldn't believe. Attack ships on fire off the shoulder of Orion. And watch sea beams glitter in the dark. Trying to remember where that's from, but that does sound very familiar. One thing I gotta say is that time using this to clear up the Overlord isn't a really effective use of his time. Because look how long it takes nowadays. Back in the beta, though, that would have been hilariously fast, as the Liberator was super OP that back then. Because they literally gave everybody else something OP, so they said, okay, here's your OP gunship. I was really worried they were going to take it away like the Herc. Just gonna dive right on in. These Hellions are not long for this world, but they are taking everything with them. The Queens do manage to get into a decent position, so they're not gonna get the best of trades. Only 9 workers going down for the amount lost, but all the dead mining time over here on the third base definitely makes up for it. I'm here for the dad jokes. Oh god. An Electron walks into a bar. Yeah, he orders a soda. He asks the bartender, how much? For you? No charge. We do have time kind of powering up here for his next big push. He's kept the Liberator back at home so that he can... Actually, is that a new Liberator? No, it is not. It is the old Liberator that did get away. But 9 workers, 15 lings. Okay, I'll live with it. So, time is going to look to attack when his upgrades hit a little bit closer because he wants to time this out perfectly with his 1-1 offense. I wish he would have kept the Hellions a little bit more alive because they're a little bit more useful that way. But, you know what? He knows what's best for him. Maybe they were just kind of cluttering up in his room and it was time for some spring cleaning in the middle of winter. Clearing up a lot of that creep, but does have to get out of there. Not able to get the kills on those Banes. Liberator doing some work, shutting down that 4th base as the Queens waddling on over to defend. He will be able to kill that off. You can see he's not really looking for a fight right now. As he makes another Liberator. During all of this, Rogue did get his +1 upgrades and started his +2. And since he hasn't really taken any damage, he is sitting on a very healthy 73 worker count. Meaning that soon, if he doesn't have a problem, we should see him go up to Hive. Get that infestation pit down. That should be a neutron. No, neutron's the neutral one. I don't know. Time moving out. Getting ready for a big attack. Rogue, he's gonna find a little bit of a wall, but unfortunately, this is not the Great Wall of China. This is the Broken Wall of Time. As the main attack comes in, the Banelings coming on in, but they will be taken down. 20 additional workers, and the wall is... Oh my goodness, this is going terribly for time. I guess you could say the builders on his wall went rogue. Dude, I cringed at that one myself. Also, thank you, SC2, for the resub. As the third base is getting overrun by the swarm. Time is running out of himself. As the Ling's cleaning up the Widow Mines faster than they can actually be produced. This small attack wave that he has going for him, like, it's still doing work. Don't get me wrong, but those are Banelings. And that's a lot of them. I think there's at least one Bane for every Marine here, and he's just pulling back the bulk of his army. He's got to pick up now. There's no time to split. You just got to get out of there. So now the Lurker Den is done. The Hive is finishing up. And any attack that Time decides to do from now on is going to be very, very difficult to make work because he is still only producing Marines. Taking so much damage there. The rest of his army getting crushed. And Rogue will be the second Zerg player to qualify tonight.